Welcome back to Open Up the Dr. Bob Lee, and I've got the Resume Tailor on the line. Errol Olton is in the house. He's tailor-made. Welcome. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. I'm excited to be back. This is a really beautiful experience to be back in your company and share some really great career tips.
Yeah, we're going to call you the Resume King.
Oh, okay. I don't know if there's got a business out there with that. I don't know.
Somebody else has it?
Who knows? Who knows? But the Resume Tailor is the only one they need to know.
Yeah, that's all right. But you're the king of the Resume Tailors.
Right.
There's only one Resume Tailor, though. How did you come up with that name?
Well, you know what's funny? As I was thinking about business names to really start it, I said, well, what's the number one thing, like I know in all the clients I work with? I said, it's really tailoring someone's resume, just like a tailor, because sometimes, you come to a tailor and say, does this fit? Does that fit? And they have to try to make with what you've got work in your best favor, right? To make you shine and stand out. So Resume Tailor is the same thing. I thought it would be the perfect name to suit the business and the work that I've done.
There you go. Tailor-made for you, because everybody has their own individuality, their own personality. And when you go to seek employment, you are the person to come to so you can shine a light on them when they're sitting there being interviewed.
Absolutely, Bob. I say to every single client I have, every single person has a story, and it's what stories we tell ourselves, what stories people have told about us, and somehow that comes out in some type of form on the resume. And usually, I would say 95% of the time, folks are not telling a story that's the best version of themselves. So every time I speak to a client, I want to know what successes they've had, what they're really great at, what they really believe about themselves, and we get it into 1 to 2 pages.
Yeah, well, a lot of people don't know how to present that like you do. You may have the inside track to that, and a person trying to put that resume together may be following some basic guidelines, but to tailor make it to that person, that personality, to the person who they are, to be able to present themselves in a way that will get them the job. Get them to that next level. And that's where you come in.
Yeah, and I'm excited to do it every single time. I've worked with folks from youth to folks that are just on the seniority executive level in their careers. And like you're saying just right now, everybody's got a story, and it's how we want to tell it.
Anything special stand out in your mind? Like whose resume have you put together that pops in your mind right now?
Right now,
I mean, that's hard to figure out because your resumes pop anyway. Yeah. But if you can think of any one person that was very excited about what you put together.
Okay, so I would say there was there's definitely I could give you a quick two. One is definitely someone that was in the medical field, nursing. And sometimes it's hard to think like, how am I going to stand out with nursing? Because we're all, if I'm a part of a medical team, we're all doing the same job to some extent. But what I really try to focus in on with that person was really those small moments between them and the patient, those moments where they were able to, whether the patient couldn't speak or whether because of a language barrier or a physical barrier, and they were able to just be really savvy and trying to find ways for the patient to communicate and calm them down and let them communicate with their family. Those heartfelt moments. And so to take a resume, blend the technical skills, but also blend those strong interpersonal skills. That was really, really exciting for folks that are out there, essential workers, making a difference every day. Yeah. And
that's exactly what's going to distinguish you from the next person who just, okay, let me change your bed sheets and turn you over and You have that special inside touch.
Yeah, because we all, I think in every, single thing that we do that's, whether it's our job or something career related, we all have these warm moments that I think sometimes we take for granted, right? And we don't want to seem too braggy, and just like, no, it's okay. This is just what I do. Well, your resume should be your brag sheet. That's the time when you need to stand out, so using all those heartfelt stories.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are graduating, whether it be virtually or the best way they can at this point. What advice would you give to the new graduates?
Oh, they've got it tough, right? Because right now they're saying we're in a recession. The economy is like flipped on its head. And if I'm a recent graduate, I'm thinking, what the heck is going on out there? Can I find a job? So here's what I kind of want to dispel a couple of myths, right? The job market is things are really challenging now, but all is not lost. I go on Indeed to just check the market, and I also look at the Department of Labor, especially for New York. And I'll tell you this, jobs are on the come up. They are on the come up. So if you're a youth that just graduated and you're looking at social media and thinking the world is done, it's not. Go apply every single day. So I've got a couple of tips for them, right? So I would say the first tip is they should really leverage the people in their household. And let me explain what I mean by that. The folks in their household have a combined 60 plus years of working experience. So who better to try a mock interview with than the people in your home? So I say, if you're a recent graduate, get dressed up, put on your best, put on the tie. You're gonna and speak with your parents, your guardians, whoever, and present yourself as if you're interviewing for a job. And I'm going to actually, to support the youth, I'm going to actually put up a couple of mock interview questions they could try at home. But your family is going to be able, once they read those questions, to give you feedback on your posture. They're going to give you feedback on, do you sound confident, or are you going to sound kind of shy or slumped down? They're going to give you feedback on so much that matters, those soft moments, those soft skills that matters in the interview experience. And so I say, use the folks in your home to get ahead. That's the first tip. Yeah.
So, but so the resume is going to get you, especially the ones that you write for people. It's going to get you in the door. Yeah. So now, when you get in the door, you have to be prepared. But you say prepare before you get there. Get dressed up, even if you have nowhere to go, and just present it in front of your parents or your friends. Yeah. And then when you get a chance to go in there, how should you act? How should you be? Give us some tips on that.
Yeah, so when you go in there, right? So when you're going to an interview experience, or if you're virtually interviewing, which is a big thing, right? I think I'll just touch on both, right? You
can go there if you're virtually interviewing. You can sit like you are right now, just the top on.
Absolutely. So you can just look. I probably got I have a deep from the bottom, right? I'm not shy about saying it, right? My feet are up, right? But you want to make sure that the top half is extremely professional. You're wearing professional attire.
You don't have to worry about shoes.
You don't have to worry about shoes. Put something comfortable. You know what I love to do? Sometimes to keep little gadgets or fidgets there in case I get nervous underneath the screen, so that they don't
gotcha.
They don't see. Or I'll tell you this, if you want to say something, if you want to make sure no matter what happens in an interview, I want to highlight these 3 things. I'll tell you right now, keep your talking points right below the screen. Keep your talking points. I don't care.
You can even put them on the screen for a hot second. You can go like this right there, because it looks like you're looking at the screen, right?
It looks like you're looking at the screen. So if you're home and you're doing a virtual interview, you want to make sure your posture's straight, your background is clear. There's not a lot of distraction, right? Because you want to exude professionalism. Yeah. Have your talking points, not a lot, just have a talking points on the screen. Look straight into that camera. It's going to feel natural a little bit because the box with their video is a little bit below, but it'll take some of the pressure off of you.
People are getting used to it now because they're Zooming and they're doing FaceTime and all that. So they're getting pretty used. Instagram, all that stuff. They're getting kind of used to being on TV now.
You're getting used to it, right? So think about, if you're a youth and you're going Instagram Live, you're on Snapchat or TikTok or whatever it is.
There you go.
Think of it just like that, right? To take some of the pressure off. And all you're doing, right? Because think about it. If you got the interview, they already know for the most part you're qualified.
Yeah.
Right. So they looked at your resume. You looked at your application. They said, this person is qualified. Let me interview them. So you're already.
You got them in the door. You got them in the door.
You're in the door. You're already qualified. All they want to know is your story. They want to know how what's it like to have you on the team. What for you to talk about some of the points that you mentioned in your resume to expand on them. So get rid of all that nervous feeling. Get rid of all anxiety.
Get it out.
Qualified.
Yeah. And you got to know more about the company than the person that's interviewing you.
Absolutely.
So do some research on that company or the organization that you're going to work or want to work for.
Absolutely. Always do research. Look at their social media, their Twitter, what they posted this morning, or Instagram or Facebook, and find a way to mention it in the interview. And one of the things I always tell clients is, find a way and say, hey, I know I'm applying for this human resource role. However, how could this role support your latest initiative in XYZ? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Now, if you have to go in person, do you come in with one of these?
Yeah, right. So if you have to go in person, you come in with your face mask because you want to be, you want to show responsibility, right? And
take out your hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer. Start right after that handshake. And I'm pretty sure that when they start going back into those face-to-face interviews, there's probably going to be a couple of protocols. Your interviewer probably going to sit on the other side of a huge conference table, because they're trying to stay protected as well. But you're going to see a lot of virtual interviews, mostly now. Yeah. So I think that's a huge thing, that if the youth are home and they got to do their virtual interviews, I say first practice on the folks that you have 60 years of experience, combined experience in your household, and these folks have worked before and they can tell you what an employer is really looking for. So sit up, make sure you're enunciating, don't slump down in the seat or anything. Just very professional background. Have your talking points there, and practice, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, you'll be good.
Yeah, because we're all nervous. Yeah.
But you'll get rid of that right away because you have everything. No fear. You have everything that you need.
No fear.
Just go in there with confidence.
Yeah.
Now, there are a lot of people, youngsters, that don't understand that they're posting different things right about now. Mm-hmm. And they have to be aware that employers are going back and they're looking at what they posted in the past. So they have to be very, very careful of what they post. Mm-hmm. Talk about that.
Well, Bob, I'll tell you this. I have a background in recruitment, so I'm a former recruiter as well. And the one thing is, when I see a candidate's name pop up, I Google their name. I look up their Facebook, their Instagram, because I want to see who's going to represent. If I bring you on my team, how are you representing my company? How are you representing, my department? How are you representing me? Because you're going to potentially be an extension of this business and this brand. And if I see, a lot of party pictures, and granted, we all have our personal lives, but lock the page, So if I see a lot of, party life, and I see, a lot of, things that are just completely insane and offensive, I don't want to take the chance. Because that's part of your character. Anything you put online is fair game for anyone, So they're going to Google your name. They're going to Google your email, and they'll see what pops up. So right now, if you're at home, maybe you want to Google your name. Maybe you want to Google your email. I do it once a week because
see what's up there. Because people will post stuff. I was somewhere DJing, and I was talking to somebody, and it was time to do that mix.
Yeah.
And I went over and I did the mix. Luckily, that mix was like perfect because somebody took that and posted it up. I said, well, I didn't know that person was recording. Yeah, so they caught the mix and everything.
You never know. You know what, Bob? Also, when folks respond on other people's informations, like let's say you responded to somebody's comment and your name shows up under their comment, that shows up in your Google search results too. So you might not have posted something, but if you publicly replied to something, that's going to get you.
Wow. Yeah. So where can we find more about you and what you can do for others?
Sure. You can find me at theresumetailor.com.
There you go. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. Errol Olton, the Resume Tailor. He'll tailor make your resume to your personality. And 9 times out of 10, you'll get the job.
You're going to get that. Right.
The rest is up to you. All right. Thank you so much, Errol. We really appreciate you. Thank you for your service.
Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Happy to be here.
I'm going to sit up straight now.
Yeah.
More on Open coming up next.